What's the worst thing you've come home to? D. When I was in college, I went away for a weekend to come home to find that my roommate had attempted to hang a TV on the wall. Guess the first time didn't work because there was a massive hole right next to a TV on the wall. After learning the oil and gas company shut down after 4 years of my employment, I got home at 10:30 am. Both my neighbor and the leasing office manager were outside or happened to be outside watching me carry my office/desk box. Inquiries were immediate. Hey, insert name. Why are you home so early? What is in that box? Then I learned the generator was hit by mean birds and was out of service. That means all the groceries I just bought were sitting in the fridge and I had no job, with the added bonus of no electricity. The power didn't turn on until later the next morning. I knew this was a sign of twists and turns to come, and boy have they. Dead bunny parts plus my cat and 2 stranger cats. Years ago we would camp for weeks at a time, come a few times a week to do laundry, feed the cats, etc. Our cats had a doggy/kitty window and could come and go as they pleased. Came home one night to my cat having guests and serving them bunny. It was a fluffy mess. This reminds me of something that happened to a friend of mine. His mom went out of town and he was watching her dog for her while she was gone. After feeding/letting the dog out one night, he left and spent the evening at a friend's house. When he arrived home the next morning he passed his neighbors who told him that their 2 dogs were missing overnight. No idea where they went. My friend gets to his house and walks inside to find his mom's dog and his neighbor's 2 dogs inside with shit everywhere and the house destroyed. Apparently his dog knew how to open and close the sliding glass door and had escaped after my friend left the night before. After meeting up with the neighbor's dogs and returning to my friend's house, his dog then locked the neighbor's dogs inside with him and they proceeded to have a regular old puppy party. I have a terrible roommate. I love her as a friend, but living with her is hell. I've never seen anyone so dirty or absolutely mindless about the amount of filth and noise they create. Came home one Wednesday evening to fridge left wide open, every cupboard door in the kitchen left open, stove left on, cooking items left out/overall huge mess in kitchen, house in general disarray/her stuff strewn everywhere, and 6. Her having loud sex with a rando who left a condom in the toilet of the shared bathroom. I'm moving out in January. I left home one morning and noticed a handful of fruit flies buzzing around the kitchen. Thought nothing of it, figured I'd buy some traps later. Came home to hundreds of them everywhere, along the walls and ceilings in every room. Literally ran down the street to a Rite Aid and bought all the bug spray and traps they had. If it ever happens again, at first sight of fruit flies, leave out a cup of apple cider vinegar with a drop of dish soap in it. The fuckers will drown themselves in it. My dad came home to find a wasp in the house, and then another, and then another. He investigated, heard a buzzing coming from the dining room. An entire nest of wasps had been living in the walls and chewed through the sheetrock, or whatever it is they did, and were now pouring into the house through the hole. Edit to answer a few questions. The dining room was a formal room only used for holidays and dinner parties, and since it was summer most entertaining they did was done outside, so no buzzing heard. Also my dad was older and hearing does get less sharp. Exterminator cleared it out. My dad removed the sheetrock and replaced it and replaced all the vent covers. They typically had wasp nests hanging from the eaves all the time, so seeing wasps outside wouldn't have been noticed. They even had them in the mailbox. Meth lab bust. I was raised by my grandparents. They were wonderful people who adopted a bunch of shitty kids, and they'd let my aunt and her boyfriend move their RV onto the property because they got kicked out of wherever they were staying. The worthless assholes were trying to cook meth in it, and it caught on fire, so they ran off and left it there burning. The neighbors called 911 and the fire department got the fire out before it got to the house. It was nice coming home from school to that. It was a huge shitstorm. My grandparents were almost arrested and they almost lost their house and land. Pretty much the only thing that saved them was that the meth lab was in a vehicle registered to the boyfriend. Even though we didn't get into any legal trouble, it was still a pain in the ass because the whole house had to be tested and they had to hire someone to clean up the mess and have the property test clean before we could move back in. and my childhood home is listed as a former meth lab on the National Clandestine Laboratory Register. My grandparents never recovered financially. I go to turn on the light and nothing. The electricity is off. Go to the electricity box outside and turn it on and go back inside. House has been cleared out of all valuable things. I hear a whirring sound and realize it's the old VCR videotape rewinding the videotape I put in it in the morning as I left home with my baby son. And then it dawns on me that tape only takes about 3 minutes to rewind. The burglars must have turned off the electricity seconds after I left home with my baby in the morning. They were watching me leave from inside the garden. That is disturbing. Oh my god. This is terrifying. 2 things. When I was a kid the dog ate 2 pans of fudge. The puke was everywhere. In the back hole we actually used a snow shovel to scoop it into trash bags. Went on vacation for 3 weeks. Driving across the country told the now ex, let's turn the water off. No, we can't. I'm running a load of dishes. Shit, honey, we can wait 30 minutes. No, we have to leave. When I came home, the door wouldn't open. Turns out the ice maker water control solenoid decided that it had been working for too damn long and stopped holding the water back. There was mold everywhere. Everything in the house went into the trash. Clothes, bedding, furniture, etc. They took up all the flooring down to the slab and the bottom 4 feet of drywall down to the studs. It was a 6-month rehab job. Got home after work, sat down on my couch, caught a glimpse of something in the corner of my eye, turned towards the love seat and see a squirrel sitting on top of it. Then look behind the love seat and see that my air conditioner side paneling was torn to shreds and all over the floor. Chased the squirrel out and made better side paneling, but the squirrels never stopped trying to get in. It was horrible hearing them scratching and gnawing. My landlord tried putting up some wire fencing around the window hoping to prevent them from getting in. Instead, they would manage to get in and then forget how to get out. So they would be trapped between the wiring and my account, panicking and gnawing, and the window slammed, and I'd feel bad for them and despise them at the same time. This went on for a long time and I now fucking hate squirrels and window account units. My friends printed and framed a particularly good photo of one of those squirrels attempting to get in and bought me a squirrel throw pillow. You have a message from the Choked Man. Like and subscribe to most likely come home to a normal house.